Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mupo and Friends. We are,
Jessilyn Persson,
and I'm Michele Mupo,
and we're brought to you by Mupo TV.
and you can catch all of our shows at www.mupoentertainment.com. And I just wanted to say we have about how many shows? 40 shows in the can?
We sure do.
Yeah. So if you're interested, or I'm not even going to use the word interested, if you're open to making a change and you want to be in your creative mode, this is where you do it. MupoTV.com, MupoEntertainment.com. Did you have an awesome week? I beat
I
you to it.
sure did.
Right on. What did you do?
Good question. Well, in spite of dropping my phone and no longer having one right now, I am still having a Mupo awesome week because I just came from an awesome event where I support and empower women. So that's always really fun to see what other women are doing. And of course, it's the holiday season, so a lot more people are giving to a lot of charities. And what I got today was two uh, shoebox type things, and I'm going to take my boys tomorrow after school to go fill them for other kids that need them locally, like mitts and necessities.
That's awesome. Everybody should do that. That everyone should do that. That is, you know what you need to do? You need to videotape it when you're doing it. So you're going to need a phone, obviously. But you need to videotape that, and then we need to put it up there, because if kids see other kids doing a good deed, then who knows? Every day they'll do a good deed and the world will be a better place, just like my Keep the Peace program. On that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back with our guest.
Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more? Okay. Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mupo and Friends. Our special guest today is a dancer, choreographer, producer, actor, and influencer. A runner-up on So You Think You Can Dance. He's established himself as one of the premier dancers and choreographers in the industry, working with Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, and Vanessa Hudgens, to name a few. His numerous acting credits include Disney's Teen Beach Movie and Teen Beach 2, and a reoccurring role in Freeform's Bunheads. He's done everything from choreographing the Billboard Music Awards to helping establish Pride House LA, the first LGBTQ plus TikTok content house. Please welcome Kent Boyd. Hello, Kent. How are
Wow.
you?
I'm
Hey,
so
Ken.
good. Thank you for that intro. That was awesome.
Awesome. Well, we are very excited to have you. And I know that the fans want to know this. So, did you always know that you wanted to be a part of the dance world?
I knew at kindergarten, kid you not, I knew right away.
Beautiful. I
Yeah,
love that.
I know. It's pretty amazing. You know how like in kindergarten they ask you this, like dress up for what you want to be when you're older, and a kid will go as like a fireman or like a pilot. I came to class with a sparkly tuxedo and a white top hat. Like it was going down and I was ready to twirl.
That is beautiful. I
That
love
is
it.
so adorable. Okay, awesome. So why did you decide to audition So For You Think You Can Dance? And was the pressure enormous?
Yeah, that show was crazy. It definitely brought me out to Los Angeles. I was actually headed to New York. I was gonna get my BFA at Marymount Manhattan and kind of go that route. But something happened. I was auditioning, I think, for Juilliard, immediately was cut and was in Chicago and saw that on some type of flyer that they were holding auditions for So You Think. And it just worked out timing wise that these auditions were in the exact same time of this where we were. So we went and it just kind of happened naturally. It just progressed and kept going. And I got to Vegas week and then made it to the show and like it got to experience the show. And it just It was a dream come true. That was a show that I grew up watching every summer. It was the highlight of our summer. I trained at a dance studio like most people out there, very small town in Ohio, and just kind of trained and danced every day and lived, breathed, sleep, dance. And then this show was what I dreamed of. And then to finally get on it and do well was a dream come true.
That's beautiful. I love to hear very good stories like that because I know people back in the day where they didn't have such a good time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because now there's so many things to offer. Now, what was the path from competition to working into the business? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, I think just that just happened naturally. Like once you kind of get out of the competition world, then you start stepping into the professional world, and you're not, necessarily fighting for a trophy, you're fighting for a job, right? So that competition aspect is still alive, especially when it comes to dancing or dancers. A lot of times they're getting casted big cast, like 20 to 25 dancers. So you have to find that you fit in this certain kind of role or mold, or finding your bookend, because a lot of the times our set is choreographed to sizes or shapes. It's not so much about your face or being the center of attention. It's about being a part of something full. So there was still that competition aspect that I think that helped so much kind of connect things as I got older. That training, that understanding of, like every opportunity is a job opportunity. They're watching you, they're judging you. Like this is an art form. Like you want to really make sure that you're presenting what you think you are, or what you think will serve the purpose for the project. It's definitely, the arts are interesting. Just being an artist, it's so hard because it's always a mixture of following your heart and kind of listening and expressing, but then it's also like the reality of it is you have to be there, you have to find original concepts and ideas that stand out, but between so many other people, like that's inevitably hard as well too.
So you work with some major artists. Have you ever been starstruck?
Oh my goodness, have I ever been starstruck? I mean, I don't think I've been starstruck, but I always, when I'm around these people, they definitely have an aura that is large or magnetic or beautiful. And that's always like, man, you leave a rehearsal after you have, Tovlo or Dua Lipa, and you're just like, the back of your head, you're like, wow, pretty people just win. You're just like, they're just so stunning. And they're usually a lot larger in terms of like their height. Like I rarely ever work with those really, it's like either you get like a giant tree or you get like a little elf. Like I really find that these celebrities kind of gravitate towards either way. For like Becky G, who was like literally like a mini me, like she's the tiniest thing. So just to kind of see them in person and like, it's definitely interesting to kind of break that.
So, what artist would you actually like to work with?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would love to have worked with Prince. I literally talk about him all the time. When I talk about aura and energy, I've never seen anything as masculine and feminine at the same exact time. Like that man was magic. Just to have been around him, I'm sure would have changed me as well. But I think today, right now, I think I would love to be with this artist. She's younger. Her name's Remy Wolf. I would be starstruck by her. She's got this like rock star attitude. Doesn't feel like your typical pop star. Like it doesn't feel like bubblegum happy bright. She's just kind of vibing to her own beat. And I think it's really original and authentic. And she's got a good sound.
How did you become involved with the creation of Pride House LA?
Oh my God, that was crazy. It was literally a year ago. We were checking the facts like yesterday. How long has it been since it's actually happened? How I got involved was through my friend Molly Gray, who was also, ironically, she's kind of been on a parallel journey to me through a lot of the big pivotal moments. She's was randomly there. And like at every point, I'm like, wow. So then like this kind of synergy just happened and we got to create a whole entity or a company together. But it happened over COVID. We were both in Teen Beach as well as So You Think You Can Dance. And she was like, hey, Teen Beach is popping off on TikTok. The music, everything it's going viral. I'm getting millions of hits. We've got to do this. So she set up a time. We went to the beach and we just created content. And then from there, we kind of, were in the situation of COVID and we were looking for ways to continue to create and be creative. And this was something that was so easy and so fun. It kind of made me feel like I was back in high school working on like a project like for school, and like the energy was fresh and it just felt right. So we continued to create content, and then it started to progress even more, and then it just became a thing, and we created Pride House LA. And I felt like it really established itself after we went viral with JoJo Seawall, which was bananas.
Right on. So, in your opinion, though, what were some of the biggest issues facing the LGBTQ plus community today?
Oh man, well, I was also just kind of, we always are having conversations about this in the house, but sometimes I always forget. Like I'm in such a bubble that's so inclusive. It's so progressive, and everything is welcomed. And the minute I leave that bubble, I'm like hit with, oh my God, yeah, there's homophobia. There are people that believe that this is a sin. They don't think that it's right. They don't believe it. They don't want it to see it in schools or churches, or it will eliminate people. It will be this thing that will all of a sudden, like, if you're a part of this community, you can't do this, and this. And I'm like, what? We haven't even gotten past the bare minimum of just basic, like, love is love, and everyone kind of agreeing with that, regardless of religions or whatever it is. I still believe, like, rights when it comes to being married, or to all of these things that we would maybe not even take for granted if we weren't a part of this community. Like it's the bare minimum. So those things I'm still baffled by, but it's just like, how can we find even more connection, or how can we open up their eyes to realize, like, this is not a phase, this is who we are, and that we are, if anything, like, there's no wrong here. It's all positive, it's all beautiful. Like, love is love. Like, just
Amen.
understanding
Love
that.
is love. I love that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
So it's like this. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, you're going to hear some more interesting topics that we're going to discuss.
And we're back with Kent. So listeners can share what's on their mind on the Pride House LA podcast. Has anyone ever brought up an issue where you didn't know how to respond?
I mean, it's always case by case, and I'm definitely not a certified anything. I'm just a person in the community. So it's always just listening and understanding. And I think what we try to do here at Pride House is humanize every aspect, every part of it, because we want to come from a place of love. We want to solve from a place of love. We want to find solutions. And it happens all the time, especially with our community ever changing and growing, and understanding more and more about our community. It essentially empowers us. And just to kind of see how people take that, it's so interesting. Like, for instance, we have a wonderful community here, and we'll bring in people, and it feels like the YMCA. We always we want to create a safe space for people that identify in this community to come and speak out, share their stories. And just hearing these stories are crazy. Like, we had the Spellman twins from the Bay Area kind of break down their coming out story, and this is their first time ever kind of verbalizing it. And just to kind of be back in that presence it's just life changing. And then just to kind of hear how people take that, and how they are so afraid and don't want to participate, or immediately, like, banish those people from their lives. It's those are the things I don't know how to answer, because I'm like, what? How did you make it through that? Like, you are a superhero. That's insane. Like, like, all of the obstacles that the queer community that they go through, they do it so effortlessly, and they do it with style too. Like, it's just so fun to kind of see how they use the arts to renaissance, or to kind of express how they're feeling and show their hardships. So that's how I'm always just like, how did you do it? How?
Now, you also have a background, obviously, in musical theater. So what was your favorite musical?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a loaded question for sure. Because there's definitely my favorite stage performance, my favorite TV or film. I love Rent. I love Rent. I love the TV movie of it. I loved even the new version that they did with Vanessa and Jordan Fisher and Tinashe. I thought that was really fun. There's nothing that beats that musical for me. I think it's a classic. I love what it stands for, even with the AIDS community and just these artists trying to make it and survive in this community that feels so bohemia and like so fun. I just think the music is so amazing. But when it comes to stage, I really like, this is gonna make me sound really gay, but I really liked Legally Blonde. I thought Laura Bell Bundy was amazing. I thought the writing was amazing. I thought it captured the movie really well, and the music it just was caught in my head from the first time I've ever seen it. I also love Billy Elliot. I love Once. I really enjoyed Beetlejuice. I'm excited to actually go back to theater. That's one of my things that I'm like, I take my 2 annual trips to New York to see what's going live on stage, and then I get inspired and motivated again to continue to create and listen, because musicals, man, there's nothing more joyful than that.
That's
Yeah, I would
true.
agree with that. Yeah. So what choreographers have inspired you?
Oh, yeah. I am really inspired by, there was a lot of choreographers that were kind of connected to So You Think You Can Dance, which was really nice. They have their roster filled. But as I moved out to Los Angeles and started to connect with more movers, I started to, there's this one, she's my mentor now. Her name's Toogie, kind of Boogie, but with a T. And she's just influenced me. Her skills are insane. She comes from the B-girl world, and she's got all the popping and locking, and she's been traveling and all over. She's done a lot overseas. And then she also mixed on top of that, does a lot of breath work. So it's this kind of cathartic, beautiful style. Like, that's what drives me wild, is when someone can take, a fusion of two things and create something original that your eyes have never seen, or, you dance it and it just feels like something you've never experienced. Like, that's all we are, our experiences. And I think she's just one that captures time. The way she moves it's very, it's emotional. It's beautiful. Check her out.
I think you should have tried out for West Side Story, because didn't they just do a movie on that?
Oh girl, I auditioned 7 times, baby.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Justin Peck, what the heck? Come on, I was so close. No, he's
yeah,
amazing. I'm excited to see it. He did the choreography for that, and just kind of seeing all their posts. I'm just so excited. I know Spielberg probably did everything he could to make this classic stand out as it should.
yeah, that's gonna be one to watch. But I have a feeling you're on to better things.
Yeah, I hope
Because
something grittier, rock, crazy. Like, I want to
yeah,
go to London.
yeah. What do you think about the Green Day when they did that play? Because
Yeah,
you were from New York originally, or no?
no, I'm from
Yeah.
Ohio originally.
So
Oh, it's a time.
yeah, it's going to be even crazier than ever. And I know that a fan wanted to know what the process of your choreography is for you, and what are the roses and thorns, the process of it.
Well, yeah, obvious. Creating is one of my favorite parts. Definitely is case by case, depending on the project, whether it's like the commercial or the movie or whatever it is. The process to me, when I'm just creating for myself, like if I'm just trying to put work together, I'm trying to look at life. I look at life as a daily inspiration, whether that's like, for me, I'm so inspired by music. Obviously, as a mover, we're definitely connected to some type of beat. So to me, I'm always seeing live music, and once I find that song, or once I find that beat, I immediately, if it's a good song, I can immediately escape to it, and I can start seeing and creating the world, whether it's a color or whether it's a repetition or pattern. Like, it's all crazy. Like, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just like, what's going to inspire me first? Is it going to be the idea of selling this product, or is it going to be this song base? So I'm always looking to be inspired. I'm always trying to look at daily life's like tasks that we're doing. There's everything's choreographed, everything is movement, so I'm always looking at movement. So especially, you know, those iconic scenes or the things that do go viral. I'm always trying to watch, like, what are people reading about this? Why is it translating to so many people? Because that's what we want. We want to find that originality, but we want to find that universal appeal. So yeah, and then you know, I get a lot of inspiration from animals. I love watching my cat move. He's this like Persian cat with a flat face that has no profile to sit. So to
I
see him
love
kind
it.
of maneuver through life, it's crazy.
I love it.
So you've done some acting, even creating your own show, Free Period, on Disney. Is that something you'd like to pursue further?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's for me, it's all about creating. It's all about create, destroy, create, destroy. I definitely love, I think that's what's going to happen with Pride House too, is that not only are we influencers and on all these social media platforms, but we're getting larger brand deals. We're getting more opportunities to connect and to share. And then on top of that, you know, we have to think about the visuals and, you know, creating the sets or curating this. It all to me feels like a big production that we're doing, you know, day to day. Life is a production. So I feel like those opportunities will continue to come, and it's just about like showing up and getting organized and like just putting your energy into it and just kind of seeing how it comes back in return. But creating Free Period was an amazing opportunity, like to create for Disney Channel. And then I got to work with one of my favorite production companies called Absolutely. They do a lot of stuff with Adult Swim. So it was just perfect to kind of have all of these geniuses that are really excellent at their jobs come together. And you then realize like, whoa, I don't even have to work that hard because everyone is so good at what they do. You just kind of show up and you're there and you're present, and like it just starts to work itself out and you start enjoying it, and then you get addicted to it, and then you can't stop thinking about it, and then that's where like the magic starts to happen.
That's
Sounds like
talent.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
And we're back with the amazing Kent Boyd. Now, Kent, how did you end up with Vanderpump Dog World Dog Day?
Oh my God. I loved my outfit that day. I loved my outfit that day. You have to check it out. It literally, I had a mesh print. It was covered in dogs and they were so cute. How did I end up there? I went because we love Vanderpump. We want to collaborate with them. They've got amazing things out here. And we love dogs too. We literally today, I think Paw Rescue, we did a whole post about it today. It's like, it's important. Furry friends are important to take care of, and they have an
Amen.
amazing charity and cause. So it was a fun little outing we got to go to.
What's your favorite type of dog?
I grew up with miniature schnauzers. They're not my favorite type of dog, but that size. I like a Shiba Inu.
Shiba Uno? Or what are they
Uno,
called?
yeah,
Shiba
yeah.
Uno? They're good. They're nice dogs.
They look like little foxes. Like I love that size that feels like they're athletic, but they're not too slobbery. But I do love a pit bull.
Nice. I'm a big French bulldog lover right now. If you had one piece of advice for young people navigating today, what would you tell them? Like if somebody wanted to come out, but they couldn't.
Yeah, I think it's all about that saying, it's all about who you surround yourself with. So I really hope that all my friends, everyone that I know, I pray that you have those mentors or those people around you that you can rely on, that they could, that can make that eye contact, that can give you that energy, because at the end of the day, like it's all about human to human interaction. And it's all about, if you're feeling a certain way or depressed, it's all about expressing it and getting it out and going through the motions. And it's so much easier and better when you have people around you that love you for who you are.
Absolutely. Your life is being made into a musical. What does that look like?
I'm like, it is it's definitely mixed media. because there's definitely going to be like some element of green screen, some element of a different universe, whether that's like graphics or it's misshaped. It's a visual explosion, like you very Rick and Morty, inspired. I always think like acid flowers, like just, and it's just really happy with a really great beat. The music is it's probably funky, nostalgic, and techno. So and a lot of synths. I don't know. There's definitely an orchestra, and hopefully there's one number within the musical where there's like from one of my other favorite musicals. What is it? Across the Universe, when they're applying to join the army, they're on this like kind of conveyor belt, and they are all go through these kind of like really fun, easy, simple motifs, but it happens in repetition, and it's so fun to watch. So anything that's like a visual explosion, kaleidoscope, happiness, and at the very end there's like a big blunt. I'm just kidding, a big kiss, something fun.
You've talked about how hot it was filming Teen Beach 2. How did you rise above the elements to perform when they're not going in your favor?
Oh my gosh, that's the name of the game. I mean, it was extreme. We filmed it in Puerto Rico. We were there for about 3 months, and half of the movie was on the beach. So that terrain in itself was so hard to manage, with props, with timing, with camera blocking. Like we weren't even working on a flat surface. So that was probably the hardest thing to kind of factor in. And it just was about how you get over those obstacles is you just communicate. Chris Scott was a choreographer, so we just had to constantly work on things with him and not really rest and set back, but be really proactive and be in those moments too. Why I love my dance training is because I'm trying to be as easy to work with as possible. So I'm thinking of the 3 things before you even get to me, so that I can help navigate it in an easy and seamless way. So yeah, I think it's just about communicating, and that's how you get over it.
And can you tell us like what type of projects you have up and coming, or do you have NDAs and stuff? Good, tell us,
No,
please
there
do.
are a couple things that I can't talk about, but one I can talk about is I just choreographed a commercial for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, and that should be
Wow.
streaming on Freeform everywhere. It stars Happy Kelly, who is a friend of mine, and also kind of found her claim to fame through TikTok. So it's like they go through the decades. They start out into the 70s, and then they go to the 80s, and then they have like my favorite's obviously the 90s, because the way they shoot it in the choreography was my favorite part. But if you see that, any listeners out there, send it to me, DM it to me. We're just trying to catch that. It's really fun. And then other than that, I'm also touring with a convention called Hollywood Vibe. Every weekend we'll go out to different cities, and I'll be able to teach dance, which is one of my favorite things to do, is be in a huge ballroom filled with dancers moving and grooving. So if you would like to dance with me, check that out at hollywoodvibe.com/tour, and we can dance together. And also just stay in touch with everything Pride House. We've got some really fun Christmas things headed your way online. So get ready.
Right on. I love it. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the conclusion of our interview with Kent Boyd.
And we're back. Before we wrap things up, we have one last question. If you were to interview yourself, what question would you ask, and what would the answer be?
The question I would ask would be, do you have any speeding tickets? And I would say, and hopefully I would say no.
But what's the real answer?
I have a speeding ticket right now, and I'm really mad at myself.
Awesome. Thank you. It's been a pleasure visiting with you. Look for Kent Boyd in Teen Beach Movie and Teen Beach 2 on Disney Plus or Amazon Prime. Free Period on Disney Plus, Bunheads on Hulu, and Kent Boyd TV on YouTube. You can also find the clips of Kent from So You Think You Can Dance on YouTube and listen to the Pride House LA podcast on Apple Podcasts or audible.com. You can follow, like, and subscribe to Kent Boyd on Facebook under Kent Boyd Official, at Kent_Boyd on Instagram and Twitter, on TikTok under Kent Boyd_, and Pride Housela, that's PRIDEHOUSELA, and at his website, www.kentboyd.com.
And as always, thank you for tuning in to Mupo and Friends, courtesy of Mupo TV. And you could catch all our shows and others at www.mupotv.com. That's www.mupotv.com.
This is Jessilyn Persson with our host, Michele Mupo.
Until next time, have a Mupo awesome week.
Move.